Thank you so much for joining us today. Shalom Aleichem. It's so good to have you. Welcome to today's True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean. Let me know if it's loud enough, not loud enough. If you need it to be a little bit louder, I'm happy to turn it up. We are just so blessed to have this medium, to be able to connect with one another. It's crazy. It just seems crazy to me that I can press a button and people all around the world can hear it. It's also crazy to me that Elon Musk can send off so many rockets and bring so many back so easily. Good evening, Kim, one of my classmates. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us. So we're today, as promised, we're diving deep into one of my favorite Bibles, the Complete Jewish Study Bibles. Now, I have over 50 printed Bibles, but this one is the Complete Jewish Study Bible. I absolutely love this Bible. It's, I keep 5 or 6 Bibles right next to me, and my hand is always on a Bible when I am speaking or preaching. And so it is today. The Complete Jewish Study Bible. I've had the Complete Jewish Study Bible now for probably, and Kim, if you could let me know how the sound is. Let me know if it's loud enough, not loud enough. You're my unpaid sound tech today. So I've had the Complete Jewish Bible. Let me see here. How if I had it? I might have written in here the reason I got it or when I got it. It has a 2016 for my birthday. 2016. That's awesome. I've loved it. I have 2 versions of it. We'll talk about that just in a second. And it's just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I helped a dear friend of mine and a friend of the show who was interested in a translation that she could use that would be really good for what she's looking to do. Then she wanted to bring up her knowledge of the Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. She wanted to focus more on that. So I thought, let me look into this. Turn it up. Okay, good. Okay, let's go here. And let's go a little bit there. How about now? Is that a little better? Hopefully it's not too loud. I go a little harsh with it sometimes. They're little tiny buttons, and I don't have such great control of my hands. So it was just a pleasure to help this person to find the Bible she was looking for. And she's had many different Bibles, as a lot of people have. You know what's interesting, though? The statistics on Bible ownership is much different these days. It's much different. So, thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. So, the way I approached, she had asked me. She said, "Look, I need to get. I want to get the most accurate Bible, but I also want to get a Bible that is in touch with our Jewish roots." And so after talking to her and asking a bunch of questions, like an interrogator, I settled in on this one and found a good price on it. So this one being this one. So there are multiple versions of this. The Complete Jewish Study Bible is what I'm going to be talking about today, but it's Genesis, pardon the pun, is the Complete Jewish Bible. The Complete Jewish Bible. And this is in hardback. Now, I'm just going to tell you, this one was $35. $35. Let me see when I got this one. So I must have gotten this in 2016 as well. So this one, you can see how thick it is and about the size of it. Now, my new book, once it's finished, I think will be this size. I think this is the size of it. Very easy to handle. But I will tell you, I'm not a big hardback person, but I know people that are really hardback people. They love a hardback Bible, and that's just what they want. And I'm cool with that. So the study Bible, you can see the difference in size. This one's leather. Now, I do wish that I could get this I really wish I could get it in a premium leather, like a full yap. This is the yap, this area here. No, you can't see that. This area here. See that? That's called the yap. And this is not a full yap. The full yap would come out to about here. The leather would come out to here. So when you get into that, you're getting into and I'm going to review some of my Bibles that have that down the road. The Bible reviews seem to be popular. I don't know why. So this is published by Hendrickson Bibles, Messianic Jewish Publishers and Resources. And I know that there is a new version, but I want to just tell you what's in the front of it. In Hebrew, obviously, there's lots of Hebrew writing, which don't worry, it's all translated. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, King of the universe, who gives the Torah of truth and the good news of salvation to his people Israel, and to all the peoples through his son Yeshua, the Messiah, our Lord. So I have to say, wow, it's a phenomenal Bible. I mean, it's in great shape. It's 2016. So that survived 2 moves. One from Delaware to North Carolina. That's pretty good. All of my Bibles were boxed up, and I think I had them in my car. I don't think I'd be the type of guy I don't strike me as the type of guy that just put them in a box and go, well, good luck, So whether you're a serious seminary student or a follower of the way, looking to deepen your relationship with God, this Bible, I think it offers very unique insights that bridge the Jewish and Christian traditions today. And that's what my friend and the friend of the show was really looking for. She said, look, I want to go deeper. I want to study deeper. And, I'm not at the place where I can really learn Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek just yet, but I want to kind of get my feet wet. And I want it to be in an accurate translation. So we're going to talk about translations here in a second, specifically this translation, how it happened, why it happened. And we're going to explore what makes the now let me just say, I call it the CJSB, Complete Jewish Study Bible. You can even call it the CJB. The CJB would be just the study Bible, but it depends on, what you like. So the CJSB is very reliable, and I'm going to explain to you how. I'm going to explain to you how it's constructed, how to expertly use its features to unlock the Bible's depth and beauty, because it has features that many Bibles don't have. It's very different than most study Bibles. And I have a lot of study Bibles. I have good lands. I don't know. I think I have 5 ESVs, English Standard Version study Bibles, in various iterations. I have several NASB study Bibles. I have several New King James Version study Bibles. I have several Keyword study Bibles in various iterations. I have many. I have many study Bibles and other translations as well. I like a study Bible. I like a study Bible, not, obviously I have commentaries galore, and we're going to do reviews on those. And because somebody said to me, they said, how much are these commentaries? And I said, they are a lot of money. And I bought them because, I needed them for school, for seminary and divinity school. So you need them. And that's all there is to it. I have one book that's $500+. And then I have 2 of my Bible collections, which are One is from Liberty University, and it was given to me personally by the co-founder, Dr. Elmer Towns. He gave it to me personally and signed it, inscribed it, and he was my first Bible teacher at Liberty University. So, and then I ended up protecting him with the executive protection team many years later. And he remembered me, which is really sweet. So all that said to say this, those are, he gave me a gift worth well over $1,000. Then you have your, I have one that's in King James Version that is, I'm trying to think of sermon, pastors. It's a pastor's outline Bible, and it's 3 or 4 volumes. It's huge, and it's very in depth. So it has full commentary in it. So I don't think most people need that. Most people don't want that. They're unwieldy. They're huge, and obviously prohibitively expensive. So, and ironically, both of those were gifts. Now that I think about it, the other one was a gift from a pastor who was getting out of pastoring, unfortunately. But my point in all that is, in each of these Bibles, there is, I think they're very feature rich, many of them. And like I say, I have all kinds. I have the Archaeological Study Bible. I have the Hebrew Culture Study Bible. I have the Founders Bible, the Patriots Bible. I have MacArthur's Study Bible. A whole bunch of them. I've got a whole bunch of them, and they're all very different. And I'm interested in telling you about them and showing them to you, and because maybe one of them that might be what you need. That just might be what you need. And I can help you find, reasonable deals on them, where to stay away from, like one-on-one. If we communicate one-on-one, you're always welcome to email me, anybody from the show. Email me at smgreener@gmail.com, smgreener@gmail.com. If you shoot me an email, and if you're comfortable texting or talking on the phone, we can chat. And I can kind of get a feel for what you're looking for, and then we can go from there. But I can help you. I can absolutely help you, and help you avoid some of the pitfalls sometimes buying. Hey, Dennis, Meat Man. I call him Meat Man. He's he's teaching me all about carnivore, and I'm trying to learn it little by little. So I appreciate him. He's a great guy, great veteran. And great friend to the disabled veteran community, too. So, good guy, good dude. So, I guess my point here is, you can have the greatest study Bible in the world. But if you don't spend time learning how to use it, learning how to use its features, I'll give you a great example. The Thompson chain reference. And I'm going to do a review on those, too. Now, if you look back, excuse me. Pardon-moi while I get a drink. Somebody sent me a message, said, "What are you chewing? When you take a drink, what are you chewing?" Hey, Samantha. Well, it's good to have you. You can always go back and listen to the beginning. So I just talked about you, Samantha. So when you go back and listen, you'll hear that. So somebody asked me, what am I chewing? And I'm chewing chunks of aloe. And I know that grosses people out. Thank you, Dennis. You're kind to say that. I know it does, but it's chunks of aloe. And I put the aloe juice in there, and it's all chunky, and that's the way I like it. I like the taste of it. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's just aloe. I think there's probably some natural sweetener or something in there. But anyway, that's what I'm chewing. So I thought it was pretty perceptive of someone to see that. I thought I was like, wow, how did you notice that? But I guess, I don't think people pay that much attention to me. So I think to get the full depth and beauty of a study Bible, really of any commentary or Bible, especially Bible, because, it's all in one. You've spent a fair bit of money on it. You really have to learn how to use its features. To be unmistakably clear, though, I think this is important. I've paid my own folding money for all of my Bibles, except for the ones that were given to me. And I'm not going to, if I do a review on them, I'm going to tell you this was a gift. So I've paid all my own folding money for the most part on my own silver dimes, if you will, except for the Bibles that I received as very generous gifts from family and dear friends, because they know what motivates me, they know what I love, and they love me. So, and I'll always tell you, this was a gift from so-and-so. I've never received a free Bible from any Bible translator. Now, I don't know if you know this. Maybe you do know it. So I used to have this show with millions, it was a radio show with millions of listeners called The Collision of Faith and Politics, God and Country, The Collision of Faith and Politics. And then we did Sundays with Dr. Sean, and that was a live thing. We had a live audience as well as in person. And then we also had, live audience all over the world. And that was crazy. That was really something. So anyway, I have to say those times when I was doing that, one of my greatest joys, in addition to the Kehala people, the Kehala attendees are some of my dearest friends. I love them dearly. But I love giving away Bibles. I really, really love giving away Bibles. I have always loved it. I got that from my mother. But I always said I want to give away as many Bibles as I can. And so eventually the people in the Kehala, they volunteered. I didn't even ask for it. They started giving little gift every week, and it would vary in size, but it was never huge. But I put that money toward buying cases of Bibles, and so I would give those Bibles away all over the world. And we even gave one to Aleppo, Syria. So I love giving away Bibles, but I give away really nice Bibles, really, really nice Bibles. And so I would give away the Complete Jewish Bible. I would give away several different ones, but they were always really high quality. So by the case, my rate was $40 a Bible. That's how nice they were. They were really nice Bibles. And in my opinion, I don't know, it's my preference. I just don't want to ever give away a Bible that's not great. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm making any sense to you. But I have never received thousands upon thousands of dollars I put through this one place I was buying my Bibles from. Really nice Bibles. And I mean thousands of dollars. They never sent me one free Bible. Hey, listen, you've bought tens of thousands of dollars. And you've bought all these Bibles that you're giving away. Hey, we want to be a part of what you're doing, and give me a free Bible in a case or something. They never did that. So I've never gotten a free Bible from any Bible translator. Obviously, this show, you guys know, is much smaller. We're kind of getting started. The other show, when I was doing my book tour of my first book, it was, I had more national popularity, I guess you would call it then, because I traveled all over the country doing a book tour for 5 months and speaking in different places. So when I went on the radio, it really hit. I didn't have any idea, but anyway, it just was crazy. And so, we had people listening from all over the world. At one point, just over 5 million, I think it was 5 million, which is nuts. But I got to give away a lot of Bibles because I'd say, hey, if you're listening in a place where you can't get a Bible, or maybe you don't have the money to get a Bible, you say, well, they can download one free on their phone, or you haven't seen poverty until some of the poverty that I've seen is just extraordinary poverty. So no Bible translator, no Bible publisher, no Bible bookstore, none of those that I've ever bought cases of Bibles from. They never gave me Bibles. So I haven't been given this Bible. I think I think I've bought 5 complete Jewish study Bibles, and I've given away 4. And then I bought a hardback complete Jewish Bible. So anyway, and I've given a bunch of those away. But I love them. I'm talking about this because I love them. And as I do different Bible reviews, over time, I'll tell you all about it. Like how I got it and, where, if that's of any interest to you. I don't know if it's any of interest to you or not. But anyway, I love these Bibles. But just so you know, I don't get a bank deposit or a free air fryer from CJSB people every time I say Complete Jewish Study Bible out loud on this channel. I'm pretty sure they don't give out. I don't think they give out air fryers. But if you find out they do, give a brother a call, because I love me some big old air fryer. Big ones. Lots of, I don't want, they're little tiny ones, man. Look at this hand. I mean, it's a big hand. I can't be, and I'm handicapped at all. Shoot, you got to give me some space in there. Anyway, so the Complete Jewish Study Bible is a unique Bible translation and study resource that combines the Old and New Testaments with very well-researched and very well-written commentary, compelling notes, truly compelling notes rooted in rich Jewish history, phenomenal Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek language, and ancient culture. This Bible is particularly geared toward helping readers understand the Jewish roots of the Christian faith. It emphasizes the continuity between the Tanakh, which is, remember, that's the Hebrew Bible or Old Testament, and then the New Testament, the Brit Hadashah. So if we do not know and understand the Old Testament, we can't fully understand the richness and promise of the New Testament. I say that all the time, but it's true. So key features of the Complete Jewish Study Bible, translation, foundation. So you might remember, actually, I put a link. I put a link in the show description. So if you're listening to this on audio, by the way, welcome to our audio Face for Radio, audio only podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, all those things. Give us a rating there if you don't mind, and share us with some people. That would be awesome. But so if you're listening, I apologize if I make gestures or show something that you just obviously can't see. But if you want to see those things, come on over to the YouTube channel, True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean YouTube channel, and click on subscribe and the little bell. And that way, if you want to look at it, you can. So if you did, you might remember my Sefer Bible, CEPHER Bible review. I put that in the show description. And I did it last week. So it's under the live tab, not that far down. But click on the show description and for this show, and you'll see that link, and you just click on that, take it right there. So it's free on the live tab, by the way. You won't get charged for anything. But you'll note some substantial and stark differences as we push forward here between the Sefer Bible and the Complete Jewish Study Bible. So the Complete Jewish Study Bible is based on the Complete Jewish Bible. Remember, I just showed that to you. So it's this. So it's based on this. Now let me just say, this was marked down to $35. I mean, it's a serious hardback. Now there's nothing fancy. There's no, as you can see, no gilt on the GILT on the edges, but it's a sturdy, well-crafted Bible. Anyway, so the Complete Jewish Study Bible is based. It's taken from the Complete Jewish Bible. And so the Complete Jewish Bible is a translation by someone by the name of Dr. David H. Stern. Now, he's a Messianic Jewish scholar, legitimately. I'll give you his it's not a CV, but it's a shortened resume. The guy's legit. He's legit. So this translation restores the actual Jewish names, the Jewish terms, and it gives accurate cultural context frequently missed in other English translations. For example, Jesus, that's the easiest one. Jesus is referred to by his actual Hebrew name. I use this all the time for Jesus, Yeshua. and words like Torah to replace the word law. And so this approach emphasizes the Bible's Jewish heritage and brings readers closer to how the text would have originally sounded. So I figured I'd give you a free of charge, at no cost or obligation to you, a quick teaching on the importance of the name Yeshua and the etymology of the name above all names. Now, you might say, well, why are you doing that here? I'm doing that here because I think it's really, really important as we go through this for you to kind of get I think you need to get the full picture, right? And when you sign up to listen to this, on Fridays, usually it's either going to be a relatively short broadcast or it's going to be a little bit longer. And you may have to break up listening to it into different segments. I know you people are busy. But I thought about it and I said, you know what? I can't skip over this because this is really relevant. It really has a lot to do with this. So the name Jesus, as you've heard, I will tell you, hey, welcome. Good to have you listening. Thank you, Naviet. Oh, thank you. Thank you for serving, brother. Thank you very much. I was Navy, not in Vietnam, but I was Navy. And so hoo-yah to you. Thank you for serving and welcome home. So it's available lots of different places. It's a Hendrickson Bibles product. So if you have the internet, which of course you do, it can be ordered directly from Hendrickson. It can be ordered directly from Dr. Stern's website, which I'll give here in a minute. And it can be purchased commercially. So I think, I don't like using Amazon, but just go to the main website. Yeah. Go Navy. Go Navy. Awesome. Navy Vietnam vet. Well, welcome home. Welcome home. So the name Jesus is used in English translations of the Bible. It evolved through complex linguistic and cultural etymological process. Etymology is the changing of words over time. Culture changes words, changes the way we speak. So it moved from Hebrew to Greek. Now, really, Hebrew and Aramaic to Greek, then Latin, and eventually into English. So, man, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. There's a lot of translations going on there with very different languages. So here's a step-by-step explanation of how Yeshua became Jesus. This isn't that long, but I will. I will put them in the comments on the YouTube. On the YouTube channel, the True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean. There's two there. One is my backup channel, and I do broadcast to that just so I have a backup of them because we lost all of our videos before, and thank God we got them back. But it was great help from Christopher and Martin and Martzel and some other people. Really were great help. So that's why I do that. So subscribe on the main channel, which is with Dr. Sean, True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean. So the Hebrew name, the original Hebrew name is Yeshua. And Yeshua in Hebrew, Jesus' name is Yeshua. And if you see how it's spelled in Hebrew characters, it's really quite beautiful. It's a shortened form of Yehoshua. Yehoshua, which means Yahweh is salvation or the Lord saves. How ironic, right? This was a relatively common name in Jewish culture at the time. And it's the same name as Joshua in the Old Testament, which shocks a lot of people. They're like, why? How come? Why are people walking around named Jesus? That's not right. Hi, Miss Nancy. Oh, it was so nice to sit across the table from Nancy and her husband at Jacqueline and Chris's wedding. Oh my, boy, did we have fun. We had crab cakes that were so good. I'm just going to tell you, they were so filling. I could not eat. She donated me one. I couldn't eat it. I couldn't eat the whole thing. I only ate a few bites. I couldn't do it. Killed me to send that thing back. Oh, so good. Everything was delicious and such fun. Hey, old Dr. Sean got out there and danced. I danced, good lands, 20-some songs. I got after it. Anyway, so Yeah, that always bothered me. I thought, well, how can they be named Jesus? But I know I have lots of Latin friends named Jesus, Jesus, right? I have a hard time catching up with you, Sean. Oh, that's sweet. Well, you're precious. God bless you. Sure do love you. So then there's a translation from Hebrew to Greek, which is Jesus. I wish you could see it because in Greek it's also beautiful. Isn't that interesting? It's beautifully. Jesus. So the New Testament was written in something called Koine Greek. If you ever want to look that up, it's Koine, Koine Greek. It's really, really a fascinating thing. But Koine Greek, there was no direct equivalent in Greek for the Hebrew sounds in Yeshua. Now let me just say this. That happened a lot with a lot of words and a lot of things that really were important that kind of got glossed over, and well, we'll just change this to this, and it's close enough. But they didn't really know. The translators way back when just didn't know. They just didn't know. So to adapt the name, Greek writers transliterated it as Jesus, Jesus. So the ye sound in Yeshua became ye, because the Greek language lacks a y sound. And so the shua, Yeshua, ending was simplified to sus, Jesus, to conform to Greek grammar, which typically adds a final S to masculine names. So you see how this is happening. This is changing from the original. You may say, well, does it really matter? Yeah, it kind of does. It's the Savior of the world. It's our Redeemer. It's the greatest giver of mercy and sacrifice known to man. So yeah, I kind of think it's important for us to call him by the right name. So then there was a transition to Latin. Jesus. Now, I will confess that although prior to the crash, I was relatively conversant. I know I'm a weirdo in Latin, but I lost all my learned languages post-crash, which I'm sure my family is very glad because, I went on and on. So Jesus. From Greek, the name was transliterated into Latin, the language of the early Western Church. Most people don't know that. If you haven't ever studied church history, you wouldn't know that. So Latin was the early language of the early Western Church. It was the language of the Catholic Church. So in Latin, Jesus became Jesus. As Latin didn't have the E sound, right? The line above the E. They didn't have that. And they didn't have Greek letters like eta. So the us ending was retained because they did have that sound. Or us was more of a us in Latin. And it was, they had Latin grammatical structure, so for masculine names, so that fit. So then, the game of telephone. Transition to Old English, right? Remember, we're not done. Latin is the next before English. Jesus, early English translations such as the Wycliffe Bible, which remember is 1382. That's a while back. 1382, Anno Domini. So that used the Latin form Jesus, and then they translated that. They relied on, you have to have certain source documents, and they relied on the Latin Vulgate. Vulgate, So Old English didn't have a J sound, so the name was pronounced as Jesus, or Jesus. So then the letter J comes into play. So the letter J was introduced into English in the 16th century. And originally it was a variation of the letter I. So by the time of the King James Bible, which was in 1611, I will do a complete review of the King James Bible. Don't you worry. But just not right now, because this broadcast can't be 4 hours long. I'm not Joe Rogan. I can't, man, I don't know how he does it. It's amazing. So the letter J had begun to be used for the I sound at the beginning of names. So Jesus became Jesus. Isn't this fascinating? I think it's fascinating. So the pronunciation shifted over time to the modern English Jesus. Jesus, right? Because then now all of a sudden we have the letter J. We didn't have that sound before, but now all of a sudden we've got it. So we're throwing it in there. And so that reflects the changes in how English speakers pronounced J. So, but why was Yeshua changed? Why, what's behind that? So there was a perceived cultural and linguistic necessity. And let's be fair. Hebrew, and you may not know this, but Hebrew kind of was a dead language for many, many years. Many, many years. So there wasn't an embarrassment of riches, if you will, in resources. So, you didn't have a lot of resources for Hebrew. So the changes were driven by the misperceived need to adapt Hebrew names into the phonetics and grammar of Greek, Latin, and later English. So transliteration was a common practice to make foreign names readable and pronounceable in new languages. I have to say this about that. Let me pause. I'm not going to say it right now. Let me wait a minute. So there was a spread of Christianity in the Roman world. The New Testament was written in Greek, which was the lingua franca, or the language of the people, in the Roman Empire. And as the faith spread, Greek and Latin became the dominant languages of the early church, and this necessitated transliteration into those languages. Now, there are many people who will say there was no malicious intent. So the change from Yeshua to Jesus wasn't a conscious or deliberate attempt to erase his Jewishness or his Jewish identity. But I want you to remember this. In these times, de-Jewing our heritage was intentional on the part of people who had great influence, and they had great influence on society and culture, all of those things. So in those times, and those times to follow, there were people that weren't big fans of what they thought they knew about the Jews. So it was a result of linguistic evolution as Christianity spread across different cultures and languages. And I just want to share with you the significance of his name today. While the name Yeshua reflects Jesus' Jewish heritage and original and current identity, Jesus has become the most widely recognized name for Yeshua across cultures and languages. Both names refer to the same person and the meaning, which is Yahweh is salvation. That remains unchanged. So for those of us seeking to connect with the undeniable Jewish roots of Christianity, using Yeshua can emphasize his Jewishness, his cultural and historical context. I want to say this, and when I was writing this message, I really struggled with this. It's too late to throw rocks. I want to be an uplifter, not a tear downer, right? And so, to the best of my ability, I want to be a person who helps you in your faith. I mean, there's no point in what I'm doing if that doesn't help you. I spend a lot of money on this that, quite frankly, I don't have. And don't tell Colleen. Podcast Puppy, don't tell Colleen. Podcast Puppy is much better, by the way. He went to the groomer, his girlfriend, today. So he's looking pretty handsome. So I struggle with this. I really did. I don't want to focus on throwing rocks at people that have been gone for centuries. And I understand that it's just not popular to bring out things that are quite frankly, they're not popular to teach from the pulpit or from here, from anywhere, to a Christian audience. It's just not popular. And Samantha, your question is timed quite perfectly. Samantha asked a question. If you are on the YouTube channel, which is the True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean channel. That's our primary channel. I think there's 393 or 493 subscribers. So if you're on that one, click on subscribe, click on the little bell. You're on the right one. She asked a great question. Do you think it offends Yeshua if we call him Jesus? Good evening, Miss Colleen. I just talked about you, so don't say anything. Don't go back and listen to 5 minutes ago. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, you're going to see Podcast Puppy jump up here in a second when Miss Colleen gets home. Oh, my lands. I'm the best thing since sliced bread until Miss Colleen gets home. Then it all changes. Although if Mr. Doug comes, we all disappear. He loves Mr. Doug like you can't imagine. So for most Christians, I think Jesus falls off the tongue. His name is wonderful. Jesus, the sweetest name I've ever heard. I mean, there are countless beautiful, amazing songs that are just lovely. They're just so lovely. And I love them. I'll put one of these in my mouth. My mouth is really dry. I love the name of Jesus because it signifies my Savior. And you'll know that when I teach, I use it both interchangeably because I have an audience that is not used to someone saying Yeshua. So I'll use both to try to get you accustomed to Yeshua. I'll say Yeshua, which is the name of Jesus. So does it offend him? Man, that's a tough question. I think he would want us to call upon his name because he tells us to do that in many places and in many ways. I know that he knows the intent of every person's heart, but I don't think calling him Yeshua should be a hard thing. I just don't understand Yeshua or Yeshua. I don't understand where's the hard part in that. It confounds me. I just don't see what's so hard about calling him by his actual name, Yeshua. So I don't think he gets mad. I wouldn't imagine. But at the same time, why not call him by his actual name? It's not that hard to say. It's not hard to say at all. Yeshua is every bit as easy to say as Jesus. So, but for most Christians, I think Jesus still carries the profound spiritual significance, and it remains for many Christians, Christians, Catholics, Protestants in general, it remains a very powerful name, and it should be. So back to the thank you for that question. Back to the CJSB review, Jewish Context and Continuity. Now, I thought I'd throw this in. So the Complete Jewish Study Bible is designed to show how the Old and New Testaments connect seamlessly and inextricably with the New Testament. And it fulfills the promises and the themes introduced in the Old Testament by restoring Jewish terminology and cultural context. It highlights the Jewish setting of Jesus's or Yeshua's life, ministry, and teachings. It allows readers to see him and the apostles within their first century context. And I think that's fantastic. I love that. So the study notes and commentary, the Jewish context within the study notes and context, I love the study notes and commentary. I just think they're fantastic. So they are excellent and highly relevant. The study notes here are not just filling up pages. It's not just creating additional content. I believe the study notes in the CJSB provide not well-known insights into Jewish customs, history, and theological perspectives that were integral to the biblical authors. Now, I've taken courses that are just exclusively on the people of the land of the people, and the people of the book. So Jewish customs in that time and in that place, and to learn all about those things. So I have entire giant books on that. I have a whole electronic library on that, and I love it. It's because you can really get an understanding, a better understanding of what it was like. And I love that. I don't know if you do, but I do. Maybe you can put in comments if that's something that interests you. So the biblical authors, I think it's just so cool to get a deeper understanding of what they were going through, who they were writing to, who was the audience, what was going on at the time. I just think, man, what a fantastic thing to know, because it really informs you, and it explains, I think, really in an excellent way, key Hebrew terms, Messianic prophecies, right? So many of the prophecies, we study, but we study on a sort of a surfacey, postmodern Western evangelical perspective. But if you study them in a Messianic way in the culture that was present at that time, you understand why the struggle was so real. And then cultural practices that impacted, not for nothing, it impacted their whole lives. And in some cases, following Yeshua cost them their lives. So anyway, I think it's just important to have a deeper understanding of both the Old and New Testament text, and I think they go together. I don't think they do. I know they do. So there's some really cool in-depth articles and sidebars, and I love them. Throughout the CJSB Bible, you'll find thematic articles. So they'll have a theme. So this will give you an idea. It's hard to see because the lights are for me, but I don't know. You see at the bottom there? You guys see that? So that is really, wherever there is commentary, it's fantastic. There's nothing wasted here. I'll get to the maps here in a minute. There's the book's introductions. Wow, they are so good. They are so good, and they give you an outline, and it's really, really nice. It's so well done. Anyway, I'll go into that. So you're going to find thematic articles. So they have to do with a certain theme, and then you have sidebars, and that tells you about different aspects of Jewish life and worship and festivals and Messianic prophecy. And so some of the topics are the Jewishness of Jesus, understanding Torah, and Messianic prophecies. And so this gives you a fuller understanding of the Bible's Jewish heritage and its application of faith today. I've always said, little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. So Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek linguistic emphasis. So gets a little tricky, but I think they navigate it very, very well. Better than I think a lot of Bibles. Now, when I do the review on the Hebrew, the Keyword Study Bible, Hebrew Greek Keyword Study Bible, I think you'll be interested in that. But it explains key Hebrew and Aramaic terms as well as idioms. Hebrew and Aramaic they are very idiomatic languages. They use idioms a lot. They use an example, this means this, and how you use this affects the meaning of this. And they may look virtually the same, but they're vastly different. And the Greek language is a phenomenal language as well. It's a great language. It's a great language, but there's Koine Greek and then there's modern Greek, but Koine Greek is what they used. So you got to go a little bit deep in some of the words to really understand the full meaning. And so I find, for me personally, I just think it's fantastic. Wow. By offering these transliterations, they break down words, they give you definitions, and they're detailed definitions, how it might apply here or there. If you have a CJSB, the Complete Jewish Study Bible, you're going to be able to read that and be enriched by it. But if you don't, you're just not going to see those things. Normal Bibles just don't have that. Even the ESV and the Net Bible. Now my wife gave me the New English Translation First Edition. Talk about an expensive Bible. It has not weathered as well as I would have liked, but I've had it a long time and I've used it a lot, and it has 66,000 translator notes. Yes, it's a huge Bible. Very, very huge, but it's fantastic. So, you have access to something like that. You have access to it deeper. You're going deeper. And if that's what you want, the CJSB is really great for that. But if you're new to these languages, I have to say, it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Don't get disappointed. Don't become dejected. Don't give up. It's going to be okay. You just work your way through it. My buddy Martin speaks 7 languages, and I have to tell you, are you talking about the Dake Study Bible? No, that one is huge. Now I have that electronically. Victor Latempa, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. That is an enormous. By the way, if you're not a subscriber on the True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean main YouTube channel, please consider subscribing and hit the little bell. So, that is a ginormous Bible. I don't know. I don't even think that would fit on my shelf. The Dake, D-A-K-E Study Bible. No, this is the New English Translation Study Bible. But the one I'm doing the review of, if you're joining late, is the Complete Jewish Study Bible. So if you're new to the languages and you find languages typically intimidating or daunting, then this is a great Bible for you. So you might think, oh, holy moly, man, this sounds way over my head. No, it's incredible because they have visual and practical tools that are off the charts. They've got maps, they've got timelines, they've got reading plans, they've got cross references that are easy to use between the Old and the New Testaments. I think these tools are phenomenal. If you want to create your own devotional, you could do it. I believe you should read Scripture every day. I think if you want a real relationship with God, a meaningful relationship with God, you have to read His Word. You have to talk to Him every day through His Word. And that's how He talked to us and through prayer. And the more we study Him, it was really, really incredible. Really incredible. So, well, Victor, thank you. The Complete Jewish Study Bible, depending on what you're looking for, obviously I'm leaning in hard on it because I have so many, and I give them away a lot of times, and I love the Bible, depending on where you are in your journey. So I like to create my own devotionals. I use a lot of other tools for devotionals, but maybe you'd like to use the tools that are right there in that Bible. So you're not having to constantly switch books. And you may not have a lot of room. You may be living a completely clutter-free life. And good on you. God bless you. By the way, Podcast Puppy is fixing to lose his mind because Nana is home. He will hear that garage door opener go up, and that'll be that. You'll see a little black rocket. You won't see it because I have a background, but anyway. By the way, the background is in Montchanan Village in Montchanan, Delaware. Beautiful place. Anyway, that's a street. I took that picture. Here, I'll help you. Isn't that beautiful? Nice little cobblestone street. You walk down, no cars. But anyway, I thought that's cool. I was a photographer for a long time. So anywho, you might say, well, I'm a little bit intimidated by this, but it's for beginners to advanced students of Scripture, really. So I think if you're panicking, you might be panicking about accuracy. You might be eager to determine the individual differences between the mainline translations. Here's an interlinear, that's where we put them side by side, comparison that highlights how the CJSB, or the Complete Jewish Study Bible, differs from versions like the ESV, NASB, and KJV. We're going to look at a few key passages, and then I'm going to give you the background of the translator, and then we'll wrap it up. These are some passages where the CJSB's Jewish perspective, language, and cultural context provide a unique take on familiar scriptures. As I always say, this is the word of the Lord. Matthew 5:17. Don't think, now this is in the CJSB, don't think, these are the words of Yeshua, don't think that I have come to abolish the Torah or the prophets. I have come not to abolish, but to complete. Now here it is in the ESV, the English Standard Version. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Now we're going to do the New American Standard, which is the NASB. Do not think that I came to abolish the law or the prophets. I did not come to abolish, but to fulfill. And then here's, of course, the King James Version. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Now, Torah versus law, right? The CJSB translates law as Torah, which of course it is. And this emphasizes the Hebrew term and its context. Torah refers to the teachings and guidance of God, not just legal rules. And this broadens the understanding for you when you read this. So then there's the word complete versus fulfill. I do a whole teaching on just these two words. Where other translations use fulfill, the CJSB uses complete. And that indicates that Yeshua's mission was not to nullify. No, not to nullify the law, but to bring fullness to the teaching. And this aligns with the Hebraic idea that Torah is a guide to living, an active guide, rather than a set of laws that could simply be completed or set aside. So how about Romans 10, verse 4? I thought this would be fun. This is the CJSB. For the goal at which the Torah aims is the Messiah, who offers righteousness to everyone who trusts. Then you have the ESV version. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. What? Let's read the CJSB again. For the goal at which Torah aims is the Messiah, who offers righteousness to everyone who trusts. Then again, the ESV. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Yikes. Right? Palpable difference there. Then the NASB, for Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone who believes. Then we have the King James Version, which is, for Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believeth. Now, goal versus end. The CJSB translate the Greek word telos as goal rather than end. And this interpretation implies that Torah points toward the Messiah as its purpose rather than something that is terminated. So this subtle difference, it significantly impacts the theological understanding. Wouldn't you agree? It makes the Torah seem continuous and essential in guiding believers to the Messiah. Oh, Victor, you're a man after my own heart. I've collected study Bibles for the past 5 years and love it. I'm glad I found this channel. Oh, that's so nice. Thank you so much, Victor. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you listening and subscribing. That's a wonderful thing. Appreciate that encouragement. And God bless you on your journey. I'm gonna review several. That's not all we do with Bible reviews. As you look through the videos, videos tab and the live tab, and we have a little community there and under the community tab. So, but I'll be reviewing lots of different Bibles. So I look forward to your input on that. So Torah versus law. Again, using Torah instead of law reflects the Jewish worldview, and this emphasizes that Torah is foundational. It's not something they just do. It's who they are. And it's ongoing. And its purpose to guide God's people to righteousness through Yeshua is ongoing. So Deuteronomy 6:4. Now this is referred to as the Shema. Shema. Some people say Shema, some people say Shema. It's actually Shema. And in the CJSB, it's Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. We'll run that by you one more time. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Then in the ESV, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. NASB, hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And then in the King James Version, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Now, here's the comparison. The Complete Jewish Study Bible transliterates Shema. Rather than hear, keeping the Hebrew term intact, Shema means not just to hear, but to listen with the intent of obedience. And this layer of depth has to impact the reader's understanding. They're getting to the root. See, in Hebrew, you're getting to the root of it. You're getting to the real point here. And so, not for nothing, I think there's a value in that. And Adonai and Eloheinu. By using Adonai, which is a respectful way of saying God's name, and Eloheinu, which is our God, the CJSB keeps the traditional Jewish reverence for God's name. I think this approach brings anyone who reads that closer to the reverence observed in Jewish worship. I think in the postmodern Western evangelical world, we take too lightly God. We take too lightly. We're too familiar. We're too cavalier, I think I would say. So Isaiah 7:14, I think this would be a good one, the Complete Jewish Bible. Therefore Adonai himself will give you people a sign. The young woman will become pregnant, bear a son, and name him Emmanuel. God is with us. Let me read that again. Therefore Adonai himself will give you people a sign. The young woman will become pregnant, bear a son, and name him Emmanuel. God is with us. Now this is the ESV. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. And then we have the NASB. Therefore, the Lord himself will give you a sign. Behold, a virgin will be with child and bear a son, and she will call his name Emmanuel. Then the King James Version, therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Now, young woman versus virgin, and I think that would stand out to you. Young woman versus virgin. I have a very smart audience, so I'm sure that stuck out to you. So the Complete Jewish Study Bible translates the Hebrew word elamah, as young woman rather than virgin, aligning with the Hebrew text, which can mean young woman, but doesn't always imply virginity. So this interpretation is debated in theological circles all over, but it's often used in translations. And I have to say, it's an important thing. Little things don't mean a lot. They mean everything. How about Emmanuel? By presenting Emmanuel in Hebrew and explaining it as God is with us, the Complete Jewish Study Bible helps readers understand the meaning of names in their original language, emphasizing the theme of God's presence. Psalm 23:1. Right? This is one most folks know. This is a Complete Jewish Study Bible. Adonai is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Adonai is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Then the ESV, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. NASB, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. KJV, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So Adonai versus the Lord. CJSB uses Adonai instead of the Lord in keeping with the Hebrew tradition, which uses Adonai as a respectful substitution for God's name, Yahweh. So I lack nothing versus I shall not want. By translating it as I lack nothing, the CJSB brings a sense of present fulfillment, completeness, emphasizing that God's provision is ongoing and abundant, which aligns well with the Psalm's message of peace and sufficiency. So praise be to Adonai for his word brought to us in so many ways. This is the word of the Lord. Praise be to God. So, the Complete Jewish Study Bible, it offers a distinctly Jewish perspective. It respects the Bible's original language and cultural context, and by restoring Hebrew terms and translating Greek in a way that resonates with Hebraic thought, the CJSB bridges the Old and New Testaments with continuity. I think it enriches familiar passages with insights into Hebrew meaning. It provides theological clarity by emphasizing the purpose and ongoing relevance of Torah. So whether you're a scholar or you're somebody looking to deepen your faith, I think the Complete Jewish Study Bible's approach to translation and cultural background offers a fresh and enriching way to experience Scripture. Now, I want to really quickly go into who might benefit from the Complete Jewish Study Bible. Believers and followers of the way interested in Jewish roots. Look, this deals with the Jewish roots. It's very valuable for Christians or followers of the way who want to understand the Jewish context of their faith better or at all. Messianic Jews. I think it's great for Messianic Jews. It provides Messianic Jews with a resource that bridges the Old and New Testament, and it honors the Jewish heritage while affirming Jesus as the Messiah. Now, I'm going to say, I have the Tree of Life version, which is written for that purpose. I happen to know lightly the head of that translation team, a fantastic team. They're unreal. And I'm going to review that Bible as well. Not today. So seminary students and scholars, I think if your seminary or divinity school allows it, which I don't really see why they wouldn't, it's extremely accurate. Translation-wise, the CJSB is very useful for academic study, especially for those interested in biblical languages, ancient cultures, and theological connections between the Old and New Testament. But I also think if you're an everyday Bible reader, you love to read Scripture. Honestly, even those just brand new to Bibles, like if you were to ask me, hey, I just came to faith. I just prayed and asked Jesus into my heart. You say that to me this way, and I want to have a deeper understanding of what it's all about. Well, I would say, get you a complete. I'd find out what your budget is first. If I had an extra one, I'd give you one. If you couldn't afford it, I messed around and gave Bibles to people who are super wealthy. You believe that? I did that. But they say it's a treasure gift. They could afford it, but me giving them one meant a lot to them for whatever reason. But I think if you're new to the faith, I think these are powerful, powerful tools that why not learn these things up front? I just think it's a rich resource. I think it's fantastic. So here are some other reasons. Translation accuracy and reliability. Let's start with the translation itself. The Complete Jewish Study Bible is based on the Complete Jewish Bible, which is a translation by Dr. David H. Stern. Dr. Stern is a Messianic Jewish scholar with a deep understanding of both the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, and the New Testament in their cultural context. And his translation, now he didn't do it all by himself. Oh, that's great. That's great. Awesome. I'm not going to get a air fryer. They won't give me an air fryer by mentioning it. But if they give you an air fryer, oh, Victor, you got to let me know. If you listen to the beginning of this broadcast, you'll know what that means. Let me know how you make out. I'm real curious. Come back and tell us. So I think it happens seamlessly, and I think it's wonderful. Now, I told you I was going to tell you really quick. This is the end about Dr. Stern. So he's a legitimate Messianic Jewish theologian and scholar. What does this mean? It means that he is Jewish. He's very closely tied to his Jewish roots. However, he is Messianic. He believes that Yeshua was the Messiah, is the Messiah, and will be the Messiah, and that he was put on the cross, that fulfillment of prophecy happened. The promise happened, and that was and is Yeshua. And of course, I said he's best known for the Jewish Bible, Complete Jewish Bible, but that's not his only one. He also, the Jewish New Testament commentary, I have that as well. Very, very good. Very, very good. And that's a huge book too. So his work has significantly impacted the Messianic Jewish community and broader Christian audiences interested in understanding the Jewish roots of the New Testament and Christian faith. Let me say, you might think that that's not a connected group. The Jews, the Messianic Jews, and Christians, followers of the way. But they are, and that's growing more and more. The Messianic Jewish community is a fast growing community. Now, the Jews don't have an evangelical wing because they don't want it to be easy. They don't want following God to be some easy, cookie cutter, microwave, shake and bake thing. They want you to be deeply involved and committed. And so Dr. Stern's background, career, and contributions. Now, bear in mind, this is not a full, detailed resume. The guy's resume is incredible. Also realize that a CV is lots of that is probably not publicly available. So he was born in the United States. He was raised in a Jewish family, and his early academic background includes rigorous theological and linguistic training, though specific educational institutions he attended are not specified in full. There's, so if you follow him, now I'm sure I could send a letter and get all that. But suffice it to say, he earned a PhD in economics from Princeton. Pretty smart guy. He made a significant career shift towards theology and religious studies. He was very successful in economics. And then, he said, no, this is not what I'm called to. So he had a conversion. He came to faith in Yeshua as the Messiah. Stern after that happened, he dedicated himself to studying the Jewish roots of Christianity, and his journey ultimately led him to work extensively within the Messianic Jewish movement, which emphasizes Jewish identity within the context of belief in Yeshua as the Messiah. So his major works and contributions: Complete Jewish Bible. Then you've got the Jewish New Testament Commentary, which is phenomenal. I have both of those. Restoring the Jewishness of the Gospel. Great book. I happen to have it. And then the Messianic Jewish Manifesto. Now, in this foundational work, Dr. Stern outlines the vision and purpose of the Messianic Jewish movement. It's very powerful. It's called the Messianic Jewish Manifesto. It is really incredible. And so this is what is the purpose, the vision and purpose of the Messianic Jewish movement, is to uphold Jewish cultural identity while affirming Jesus, Yeshua, as the Messiah. The manifesto articulates a call for Messianic Jews to maintain Torah observance, integrate into Jewish communities, and provide a bridge between Jewish and Christian worlds. And then, of course, the work, really, which I think is the culmination of his other works, which is the Complete Jewish Study Bible. I think this is utterly fantastic. I think it's Dr. Stern's impact really is difficult to measure, especially within the Messianic Jewish movement. And I think it's utterly fantastic. There's Bible study groups all across the world. There's Jewish and Christian dialogue. There's academic discussions on understanding the New Testament through its original Jewish context. These would have never, ever been discussed. It just wouldn't have happened. So I want to say, full disclosure, I've purchased all of Dr. Stern's publications. I didn't receive a discount. I didn't receive anything in return for this review. For the most comprehensive and accurate information, specific details about Dr. Stern's academic and professional biography, you can find that through official Messianic Jewish organizations or publishing outlets such as the Messianic Jewish Publishers. So I want to say we've gone on and on and on about this, and I think I think your question might be, well, Dr. Sean, do you think this is a trustworthy translation for study, for serious study? I absolutely do. Absolutely. I think, even as I've said, I don't think even if you're just a Bible reader, that's a great thing. If you're a Bible reader and you say, I don't know, I really just want to read scripture. And then if I have a question, maybe look down to the study notes or the different features to help me understand that. Maybe I want to understand a little deeper. I think for both of you, it's a fantastic Bible for both spectrums, you know. It's a Bible you can rely on to not just provide clarity, but depth. I think the annotations and the notes explaining word choices, adding layers of insight, I think it's fantastic. Now, I want to spend a minute talking about the physical construction of the Bible. Now, depending on what you get, you may order this version, which is this is the it's the leather, genuine calfskin leather. You'll see there, I can't pick it up on this because it's hard to see, but it has a gold gilt to it. It has somewhat of a yap, which remember is the part that surrounds the written part. It's pasted. It's Smythe bound, which is SMYTH. Smythe bound, but it is, I would say the paper is probably not, I would not go crazy writing in it. It's printed in Italy, and its first printing of this particular one that I have is 2016. So I got it almost as soon as it came out. So there's hardcover, there's blue FlexiSoft, which I think is very nice, and then the black genuine calfskin leather. I'm going to be honest, the black calfskin, it's a harder leather as in the iteration here. So I would say that if you're looking for a premium Bible feel that you would maybe get at a much, much higher price, I think you might be a little bit disappointed. And there is a massive difference in leathers, but the construction is solid. I've had this Bible since 2016, since September 23rd, 2016. It has survived multiple moves, and it has been fantastic. I think it's held up really well. The binding is good. The durability is good. I know a lot of people that prefer hardback to leather or soft cover. And I got to be very honest. My book will be available in hardback or hardcover and electronic book or ebook. And then I'm working on the audiobook. So that's a lot harder than you would think. So it's taken a long, long time. But so those, I prefer the leather. I like how it feels. The premium leather I like just much, much better. So it's a personal choice, whichever you like. Smythe binding, by the way, they call it Smythe sewn. Smythe sewn, SMYTH sewn. SEWN. And this means that pages are sewn together and then they're bound. And what that enables you to do is the Bible will lay flat when it's open, which is a great feature for if you're serious study. If it doesn't lay flat, that's tricky because then you got to, you're kind of pressing it down and all that. I think the font is clear. It's readable. It's a well-organized layout, and the study notes are presented in a way that's very easy to follow. And the text has a natural flow that aids in comprehension. Again, paper quality, it's thinner than I would prefer, but it's durable. It's thin, but it's durable, which I think is I think for a Bible this size, it's necessary. Now, the ultra premium Bibles I have, they have world-class covers, they have world-class paper, but they're also hundreds of dollars. And for many, this is financially out of reach. Now, this Bible collection I've gained over decades, right? So, before I got hurt, I was in a better financial position, so I could buy Bibles and not be, I don't buy them now, but the fact is they'll last forever. But the quality of the normal leather-bound versions, I think the paper is good to ensure a minimum of bleed through of ink if you write in your Bible. I don't know if you underline or write or use a highlighter. Use special pens and special highlighters for that. They make them for that. But the bleed through is not bad. I think you can read it without any distraction, like, oh no, I can see the words on the other page. on the back side of this page. And so, yeah, I think it's good. I don't have an issue with it. I think you've got to learn how to use the study features. Now we're going long here. This is an hour and 22 minutes. Y'all got to eat. And but if you don't know how to use the features, you're wasting your money you pay for the Bible, and you won't receive the benefit that you could be receiving. So I think it's important to take time to study here's how to use the study Bible. I think it's, hello there, how you doing? From Twitch. Romax Valorant. Good to see you. Ink. Ban. Weirdo. Anyway, as long as it takes for you to master the features. So look, it's the in-depth commentary and study notes. Each page. Read each page of that. Don't skip over it. The word studies and terminology. Read each page. Right? It's going to explain key Hebrew terms such as shalom, peace, completeness, absence of chaos, chesed, which is loving kindness, and zadik, which is righteous. They go into depth into these words. They have thematic articles and sidebars, as I told you. Throughout the Bible, you're going to find articles, the Jewishness of Jesus, understanding the Torah, Messianic prophecies. They're fantastic. Then you have cross-references and maps, which are really fantastic, really, really good. And then it has reading plans and devotional tools. So if you say, hey, maybe I want to read through the Bible in a year. Maybe I don't want to read it chronologically. You can do that. It's fantastic for that. It has study guides and all that. I just think it's accessible to all readers from beginners to advanced students. So I think if you follow these plans, you're going to engage with Scripture consistently, which is key, and meaningfully. Now, I would say you're getting your feet wet with this Bible in the Hebrew language, the Aramaic, the Greek influence, all of those things. You're getting your feet wet with this, and I think that's a great thing in a way that's very, very easy to follow. The Aramaic and Hebrew insights, I think, are tremendous. I cannot emphasize that enough. There's Greek text with Hebraic influence. They explain that to you. It's really done well. They really went overboard. So I think because we're at the end here, if you're looking for cultural depth, I think if you're looking for translation accuracy, cultural depth, context, enhanced language understanding, tools for devotion and study, I just, honestly, I think that this is a fantastic Bible. And again, I have so many Bibles that I utterly love. This is one of them. So I think that's really, really the crux of this is that I think if you choose this Bible, you're not going to be disappointed. You're just not going to be disappointed. So I really appreciate you joining me, to the audience at Twitch, the audience at Good Lands all over the place. I never remember the names of the podcast things: Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, all of those. Thank you for listening. Click on like, it wouldn't kill you. Come on over here to the True Word Faith for Life with Dr. Sean YouTube channel and our main channel, and click on subscribe, hit the little bell, and you're going to get first notifications of stuff. So if you might want to listen live, it might be a cool thing too. Listen, I appreciate you all. I want you to have a great weekend, and Shabbat Shalom.